Welcome to another Pinche podcast.
Everybody, this is another Pinche podcast. This is Lobo, and I got another guest here today. Can you introduce yourself?
I am Richie A from Download Photography.
And where you shoot out of mainly?
Mainly SoCal.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
About 7, 8 years.
Uh huh. And
So,
it's always been down low, or
actually started off a long time ago. Was that Vida Flicas was my first one. Like when I first started shooting. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but yeah.
and how long have you been doing the down low?
Um, Probably about 7, 8 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm. So what is so you're in I see you do a lot of photo shoots, just very specific photo shoots, and you're getting your content. What is your main goal when you do all your content? What are you trying to, a little bit of everything, or car shows, models,
When I
everything?
started out, it was just like kind of a hobby because I always grew up in the cars, grew up in low riding, and I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
But then it evolved into other things, and I
Mm.
just like my main thing now is like when I take somebody's picture and I change their life, like they feel you can put a positive spin on it. They're like, oh my gosh, I look so beautiful, this and that. Like you can restore somebody's whole confidence or whole outlook on life just by a picture. Like pictures are so powerful, people don't understand.
Yep.
Like a picture should tell a story. It's not just a picture is 1,000 words. A picture tells a whole story just one glance. Like you should feel every picture.
Exactly. Well, that goes into like when, I guess, there's a thing when a lot of people, like, say, divorcees, the women, they do burlesque or something like that. They want to gain their confidence. Some women will do photo shoots right after they have a child, to help to retain that confidence and level or stuff like that. There's a whole thing with that. And what you're saying is, like, yeah, it helps people. People are happy when they see themselves in a certain light. I think one time I took a picture. This is a couple years back, and this lady was like all happy, and she was like, "Yeah, I had just lost a lot of weight, and this is the first time she tried any kind of modeling, and she was just so excited." It was just like, wow. I was like, okay, I was just. He asked me to take if I want to take pictures. I said, sure,
Yeah.
and then it was just then she told me the whole backstory after the fact, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean it's priceless. Like especially even something as simple as a graduation picture.
Mhm.
I've brought people confidence back just with that. And like a lot of times people lose loved ones who do quinces and weddings and stuff. That's the last time. That might be the last picture they have of that relative.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So like every chance you get to take a picture, you got to do the best you can to make it capture the moment because that is frozen in time forever. That's going to tell a story forever. Yeah,
absolutely.
just point and click. You got to like plan it out, plot it, try to center it. Like it's a story you're writing, just no without a pen. I'm illiterate, so that's good.
Oh yeah, photo story, as they call it. And then you do events too. You do event wedding and photo and quinceañera stuff.
Yeah, I try to stay away from that because I'm so busy. But
Yeah,
I mean, because to me it's a big pressure, because you want to make sure you capture every moment, everything's perfect because you
yeah,
can't recreate that ever again. They spend a lot of money on that event, so by them even choosing you is an honor. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah, it's a thing. It's funny because it, the reason why I was just asking because you had mentioned it, and the way that you said it is what I've been explaining. So I had some friends that recently just celebrated their wedding anniversary. I think it was last year or so, and they're like, we couldn't look at the photos because at the time I gave it to them on a disc, right?
Hmm.
Remember
Yeah,
we put photos on a
that's
disc on the
cool.
thumb drive.
Yeah,
So I gave them all their photos, and then they said, "Well, we only have iPads." And I'm like, "But you're supposed to print the pictures." And they're like, "So they have no way of. I mean, there's a way, right? But they just didn't have a way to look at the photos on their anniversary because all they have is iPads, and they have a computer, and they don't have a PlayStation or whatever that will look at the Blu-ray that I gave them." And so I was like, "Well, you understand that when you print these pictures, they become family heirlooms."
yeah,
They're you hand supposed to hand it down. You're supposed to have the picture on the wall and go, "That's your great grandma, so and so. That's when they got married, or that's who you're named after, or something like that." That still is relevant today because that's why, like, magazines are everybody's so hard up to still try to have magazines because you can open up a magazine and go, look, this was me. This is my car in the 70s. This is my car in the 80s. This is, whatever. And
Right.
those photos make that story and people get to brag about it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you can't take a disc and put it up on your wall in the garage. Like when I was a kid, I grew up like I'd work all summer, and my only thing I got paid was a Lowrider magazine whenever it came out.
yeah,
But like by the time I graduated, I had my whole wall covered with Lowrider posters everywhere. And that was everything. So that was like my biggest influence was I want to be able to take pictures like that one day when I grow up.
yeah.
So I mean, it's awesome.
Well, I think well now it's awesome too because now we through social media have our own networks and you
Right.
have your own way to put it out there, put your stuff out there. And I think that now obviously we don't have to submit things to a magazine anymore, even if we wanted to. There is a few that are still printing, but the reality is that now it's all about what you could post on social media and stuff like that. Do you do much print work or anything like that?
I have a couple magazines I just started out, because I was submitting for so many other people. I was like, why don't I just do my own too. But I'm not where I want to be yet. It's still got a lot to develop and get better. It's hard when you work a full time job and then you run all this other stuff on the side. It's like I'm sure you can relate because you're always busy and you're everywhere. I don't know how you do it, man. Like you're a
I got
thousand miles an hour, man.
I got PTO. I do a double shifts and stuff like that, and then I take the days off, and it's a lot. It is a lot because we don't. Right now my full time shift is actually on the weekend, so I actually have to take time off to go to events right now.
That's
Currently,
crazy.
but at the end of the day, I'm doing it for a reason and to get in a better spot where I work. So that's that. But it's just like anything else. I probably I would probably take a demotion over stop doing the lowrider scene.
Yeah, I almost had to quit last week because they're like, well, you can't get the day off. I was like, well, I'm going still. You decide what you want to do with me when I come back. Because like we kill ourselves for somebody else or for somebody else's dream. So if we worked
Yeah,
half as hard on our own dreams as we did for somebody else, we would get
yeah,
somewhere. Like, we kill ourselves. We're never getting this time back. So we
no,
got to learn to do for ourselves to make ourselves happy to leave our own mark on the world. You know,
absolutely. Yeah, that I feel that a lot because I think when I started this, I said, you know what, if I'm going to do it for free, I'm going to do it for me, and that's what my saying is. That's why
yeah.
I'm going to do it for free. Might as well do it for myself, and that's what I do.
Well, you're one of the people I've always looked up to and you inspire me, dude. Like I love seeing you succeed and all the stuff you do. Like I'm like, damn, he's dope. He did it. Like you show that it's possible. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because like believe it or not, you're an influence to a lot of people. So by you doing it, it helps motivate other people. It keeps our torches lit. Like we take a little piece of your light and we put it on ours to make ours shine. So you're a bright flame. We're just trying to catch up, man. And like we all win together.
yeah,
Like my photography can't be for everybody. So anybody like your style more than mine. But if I expose yours, then you get more followers. And you might expose mine and I get more followers. You know what I mean? Like we all have our own different styles. It's like a signature. Nobody's photo is the same. We all edit different ways. We all do different angles. Like I can look
exactly.
at your photos and like, hey, well, that's PT Lord. Without even looking at your watermark, I could, oh, that's his. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like you can tell somebody's photo just by glancing at it. Just like how we do a car. Oh, that's a 63. That's a 64. You're like, you learn to look at the little details. Like, oh, that's so and so. That's so and so. It's the
exactly.
same thing.
No, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly my point. It's like we vibe off of other people's work. We either mentor or we set a trend or at least show respect of someone else's work. And I have a favorite photographer. You know what I mean? It's like, but that doesn't mean I'm trying to do everything that photographer is doing. You know,
You got to do your own style, but they can just inspire
exactly.
you. You know what I mean? Like, and it's all about promoting each other because, like I said, you can't be everybody's cup of tea. But you might be able to help somebody discover somebody else that's really dope and great. Because I have so many people that I really look up to that they're
Mhm.
just amazing photographers. To even have them know who I am is an honor. You know what I mean? Like, wow, that guy knows me. Like, that's crazy because I love everything they do. Like, it's
Yeah.
like they're geniuses.
Yeah. You remember I just said this story again, but it was like 2 years ago because I didn't go to Arizona last year. So there was the year before, and I was at the Glendale cruise. And I know I'm repeating this in my podcast, but if maybe someone didn't watch that episode or as of this moment, but remember Volo
Yeah,
photography? He shot
yeah,
for Lobo.
he's a cool dude. Yeah, he shot for
Yeah.
Lowrider. He shot for Samuel Casino. Like, he was
Yep.
right here for San Bernardino. He was a cool dude, man.
Yeah. 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 So he was in Arizona. That was 2 years ago. And he's cruising. in his lowrider with his family, and he goes, "Hey, he's all, I watch all your stuff." He's all, "I used to be Volo," and I'm like, "What, dude? I'm a fan of you, like your work."
Yeah,
I'm like, "What?"
that's a
To me,
winner right there, bro. He is super dope, you know.
yeah, but that was amazing. I was like, to me, that's an amazing feeling because I'm like, I was a fan when you was out there putting out your work and shit, and
You know,
and
20 years ago.
watch me. So I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's one of the legends that helped make the way for the rest of us. You know, like
yeah.
very, very, and he's a very humble dude. Like I met him years ago at In and Out right here
Mhm.
after one of the shows, and like he's a very approachable, very cool dude, very humble. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't think he realizes what how big an influence he was and what a legend he is. You know,
Yeah,
like
I remember when the big story was when he moved down south to shoot for Lowrider,
yeah,
you know, and he was out there. So yeah, it was a big deal. But see, those are the things we remember, right? We
right.
remember these things, and it's not that we're gonna go trying to repeat what everybody's doing. We're just trying to stay in our own lane and hope it all pans out and people feel the same way about the things that we put out there, the art that we put out there.
Well, it's like building a car. Like there's 10 million 63 Impalas built. You know what I mean? Like you're never gonna do anything new, but you can do something to make it yours. You know, you could try to put a
Right.
different pearl, a different flake, a different color combination or something. You know, you're never gonna be the first one, no matter what you do. You know, like but you
Exactly.
can try to make it yours. You know,
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's it. It's just like, you know, me talking to the creators, the content creators that are out there right now in the lowrider scene, what I really I'm trying to convey, because now I get a lot of people saying, "Oh, my kid's starting to do this," or "How do I get into it?" or "What camera gear do you use?" You get a lot of questions with people like, "I'm thinking about spending money on a camera," or "I want to get a camera." I've had people like, "What kind of camera should I get my kid?" They want to do what you do, So it's like it's there so we can network, that we can help, because we're going to influence the next generations.
they're the future. They're the ones that keep it alive. Like I don't know, you know who RL Perspective is?
I'm not sure.
You should look him up. He like actually has his kids doing it now too, and like he's a dope photographer on his own. Like he's dope as hell. But his kids are like super sick too. Like, and they're
Oh
kids, you know.
yeah.
So you think like 10 years from now, where they're gonna be? They're gonna be like just total trendsetters, man. They're
Oh yeah.
and I look at it like, man, that's dope. I wish like my parents were that involved in my life, do stuff like that, because he's doing some amazing things. You
Oh
know,
yeah. That's
teach
the way.
other people.
Yeah, I tried to buy my kid. I bought him a camera too, and then it's just he was like, I don't want to walk. Like basically, he can't walk. He don't like walking around. He can't keep up with me, and
On the
and
game
yeah.
instead.
Well, it was my fault. I bought him all the video games, so he's used to just sitting around playing games.
Yeah.
But that is it. I like just recently, matter of fact, on Sunday I was in Bakersfield, California, and I was walking around with my son, and I was explaining to him the difference between a 64 and a 63, a 64 Super Sport, where the body lines are, this and that, and then I'll kind of showing him like how I start and stop my video, how to like reveal the vehicle by focusing on like the rim or the interior. Just I was just talking to him like I didn't have no expectations of him holding a camera, but I'm just walking, and I'm like I might as well start schooling him now in case he decides he wants to do it. And he likes holding my phone and doing the lives and stuff. But he's still, I was like, want to hold one of the cameras? Go do whatever you want. No, it's okay, Dad. I'll just walk with you. All right.
Well, I mean, that's probably the time you're getting together. You're building memories that he'll never ever replace. Like later on in life, he said, "Like, damn, I wish I would have grasped what my dad was trying to teach me then." I need
Mhm.
to remember it. Like you're planting seeds, bro. The crop will come later. You're just
Oh yeah,
planting the seeds.
yeah.
So,
And just like what you said, it's no one ever gave me a direction,
right.
or information. There was a little bit of this and that, and I had uncles and I worked on cars and stuff like that when I was a kid. I was like, I changed my first tire when I was 6. I can say that, but it's like, it's like, but no one said this is what you should be doing, or this is something it was just like whatever, or you couldn't do that, or you can't do that, or that won't happen, or that won't work. That's all I ever heard when I was a kid. you
Yeah,
know
I can't, and you had to prove them wrong. But that's like one of the things I think that's wrong with the community too, like the photography community is a lot of people don't want to help each other. Like you see a new guy starting out, if I see somebody doing something like, hey bro, try this angle, hey, or do this with the light this way, or you know
Mhm.
what I mean? I try to give them pointers. They want to listen, it's up to them, but I try to make them learn because when I was starting out, I had nobody to look to. I'd ask people to help and they kind of like look at you and laugh, you know what I mean? Like I remember I got a setting wrong on my camera and like first camera, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and the guy kind of looked at me like, jump, and I was like, all right, well, I'll figure it out. It took me like half an hour
Yeah.
to figure out how to start shooting again, but I don't want to ever be that guy or make that guy feel that way again. Like I want to be like, hey, yeah, no problem. Let me help you. If I can figure it out, I'll figure it out. You know, like
Yeah,
help each other. Like, hey man, do try this time or do this or I got this model here. You want to shoot it real quick? You're sitting right there from the sideline. Here, come get a good shot. Don't have to worry. Get the angle you need to get. Try this angle.
yep.
Try this. Because by making them better makes everybody better. All boats rise to the tide. You just got to get your boat in the water.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's been instances where I've had someone that forgot or they filled their card and they're like, "Shit, I'm out." I'm like, I got another card. I got a card. You can use it. Just send it back to me or whatever in the
Yeah.
mail. I've had someone that like, I had no batteries. My flash batteries died, and I forgot to buy some. I got extra batteries in my case. Here, go ahead. They're rechargeable, so I want those back. you know, but yeah, they're expensive. But at the end of the day, it's like sometimes you got to be there in the clutch for other people and stuff like that. They may or may not return the favor, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Because somebody else will.
Well, it's like that saying: if you don't see a nice person, be the nice person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you can control your environment. You either focus on positive, you focus on negative. I'd rather focus on positive, and that's what you get a positive outcome.
exactly. And so I seen you in Arizona. How was that for you? How was all the shots? How that flow for you?
Arizona was cool. That's like honestly, that's probably one of my favorite shows. Like the whole state shows up and shows out. You know what I mean? Like they have a sense of unity there that you don't have anywhere else. Like I think SoCal or California period is like the home of low riding, but they represent strong as hell in Arizona, man, and like they stick together as hell, and like their whole vibe, their whole atmosphere, everything is dope there, man. Like the people, everything, and like they show up, like the whole state feels like it shows up there, and everybody participates, and you feel like a sense of unity there that you don't get a lot of the places.
Yeah, it's one of those what I called it. It's a staple show now. No matter what, even though they're an independent show, it's a staple show because people still come from all over the place to go to that show.
Yeah, I think they're better as an independent show, honestly, because I think they've grown and they've done other changes that are positive.
Yeah,
Um, but some of the bigger shows, like if you show as a vendor or as like taking your car, they just, especially if you take a car, they have you sitting outside all day. You're there all night. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh yeah, we'll set up. You got 10 minutes to set up, and we're gonna judge you tonight. You're like, dude, I've been sitting here for 16 hours, and you're gonna give me 10 minutes to set up. Like that's they forgot to realize that it's the people that bring the cars that are
yeah,
the show. You know what I mean? I understand you spent thousands, like a whole bunch of money to get this going, but you still got to appreciate who's helping you do this. Because if people get tired of getting treated like that, they're not going to show up to your show, and then you just spent thousands of dollars and you have no way of recouping it.
yeah,
You know, treat people like you want to be treated. Don't treat people like a number.
yeah, exactly.
'Cause,
Yeah,
Yep.
I've heard of like, well, a different one promoter I do know. I remember because they were like, they're gonna judge it tonight, but I didn't have this and that set up, and they're like, you know what? If it's set up now, talk to the judge. They'll come and they'll redo your thing. But it's still, if you feel like you're gonna not get judged properly because you're gonna be in a hurry and you're not gonna run your whole setup like your display and everything, that's kind of like something that they should be understanding for, because if
Well, some
there's
guys spend thousands and thousands of dollars on their displays. Like
yeah,
at the Arizona Super Show, I'm not going to mention names, but there was two shows in Arizona this year.
yeah,
That Super Show, they gave guys time to set up. It gave time to get in, set up.
yeah,
They weren't rushing everybody out of the building. The other ones, literally, I was helping people set up, and they had 15 minutes to set up, get everything, and they're going to judge at night. After waiting out there all day, and it's
yeah,
like it needs to change. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I think once they get their car, even if they're like the last person in line, that person should have at least maybe an hour, or more to set up, regardless, because were the last person in line. That's not always their issue, right? That's not their
yeah,
fault.
I agree that you should cut off a time. Like, hey, you're in line. If you're not in line by this time, you can't get in. It shouldn't be. You got to be look at the promoter's perspective too. You can't show up at the last minute trying to get in, expect 2 hours.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
if you're there at like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, you should at least have the 5 o'clock to get out. You know what I mean?
Especially if you spend a couple hours in the line, so then you're not
Yeah,
really
hours and hours.
last minute. You're just dealing with them getting people where they want to get people. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
and I mean, it's difficult from the reporter's perspective. It's really difficult to get everybody lined up and on one page, and I mean, it's hard all the way around. It's just that's one of my frustrations in this community.
Oh yeah, and then so if you don't have to answer this or not, but what's your take on all the drama with the models and stuff like that right now that's going on out there?
That's another thing. Like I wanted to commend you on because like that was awesome of you. You took a big risk by even like exposing it and bringing it out. But
Mhm.
like that girl Natalie, she's an amazing person. Like she works her ass off to try to look the way she does. Like she's in the gym constantly. You know, like
Mhm.
I know her personally. She's an awesome person. She works her ass off to look good.
Mhm.
And for somebody to try to shame her for something like that, like I'm a Christian, but I'm not like the most holy person, and I'm probably not a good example. But
Yeah.
as far as I know, like we were brought into the world naked. You know what I mean? We're gonna leave the world naked. You know what I mean? And sin is what made us clothed. And nobody's perfect, but like if you can wear it to the beach, you should be able to wear it to a show.
Yeah.
I don't think girls should be walking around with their boobs out and stuff like that. Like, there are kids there. You got to be respectful. It's a family environment, but at the time, you can see the same thing on TV. You can go to the beach, you can see the same thing. And
Absolutely.
and these girls work hard to do what they do. They put a lot of money in their makeup, their costumes, everything else. And I think if you're going to cut off the models, you're going to cut off a lot of supporters that go too.
Yeah.
You know, and if you remember back in the days, Lowrider magazine, they had the bikini contest, was basically like a strip show
Yeah.
on stage. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
they were showing
Absolutely.
everything. So it's kind of hypocritical for them to try to change it now. You
Well, I
know,
mean, there's a lot
but
of stuff behind the scenes when it comes down to it, why they're really doing that. But the thing is, it's very hypocritical because the reality is that it's not really about what the models are dressing or that model that was dressing. It's about just trying to screw a business for the promoter. And the people that are pointing out all the problems with the models, it's not even Lowrider. It's not even Lowrider magazine. There's
right,
people that trying to undermine Lowrider magazine. That's what it is.
yeah, that's what it is. And like, if you think about it, like when they took the girls out of Playboy, what happened? When they took the girls out of Lowrider magazine, what happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Everything went to
women,
shit.
women are part of the culture. You know what I mean? Like it's part of everything that we do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And nobody's forcing these girls to do this. They want to do that. They work very hard to look the way they do. They dedicate, they sacrifice, they starve themselves, they work out daily, twice a day. Like it's not easy for them, and
Yeah.
the courage it takes for them to go out and expose themselves and be proud, and the confidence it takes. Like it
Yeah.
takes a lot of confidence to be able to walk around in a bikini in front of thousands of people.
Absolutely.
Like I don't even walk around with a wife beater. It's like that. Like my hats off to them and what they
Yeah.
do and the confidence it takes. And we should never shame anybody because there's girls that aren't super like in fit, super shape, but they still go out there and they represent.
Stereotypical models. They're
They're
not
not the
stereotypical.
stereotypical models, but they're still beautiful. There's something beautiful about every single person. Like nobody should ever be body shamed for how they look. Like God made us all our own unique creation. You know, and if we don't like something, all we have to do is change it. And these girls show the example. They go out and change it. They push
Yeah.
hard to be who they are. It's not
Exactly.
easy for them.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, you turn around and walk away. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to too. It's like, but once again, the thing is that everybody thinks Lowrider just changed up out of nowhere. The problem is that they've got put under a microscope, and so because they were being looked at, they had to go like, oh, we can't do this right now. And see, the thing is that what that all started from somebody that wanted to ruin whoever's there running it and the people and everything else like that. They had nothing really to actually, they had nothing really, and they're just pulling, grasping at straws. They're
yeah,
just, so they want to throw some random bullshit. And then because of that, now Lowrider magazine was being looked at, uh, and because of that, they started saying, okay, well, you can't be like this because you can't dress like this or can't, wear this. And then the people that are pushing that issue, the funny part is the other promoter now, he has to say the same thing about his shows because he's siding with the person that was making up some random bullshit about Lowrider magazine.
yeah,
I don't have like, if you got issues with business issues and so on and so forth, that's one thing. And that's whatever, right? People don't pay someone money, they don't do this, they don't do that. That's business. But when you start doing these making up these things to just get people, in trouble or try to ruin their thing by just saying random shit, that's when, that's when you don't want to socialize with those people or be around those people or give them any kind of clout no more, because that's not good for anybody. That means they'll turn on you in a heartbeat if that's the type of person they are. And
yeah.
that,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
but
and so
I mean,
the models are innocent victims in the situation. Really, they're just a pawn. And it's
yeah,
like, what did we do? We've been doing this whole time. They didn't do nothing. Somebody else just made it seem like there was a problem. So that's the fucked up part about it, because they're not actually. What they're doing has nothing to do with anything. It's just an ongoing thing. So some people will cry about it and some people don't. And we've always dealt with that. All these years,
Right.
there's always been people that said stuff about the modeling and or the girls in bikinis or how they left before the bikini contest started or whatever. But ultimately, why it's a thing again now is because they're trying to weaponize it.
Right. They're trying to get clout off it. So if
They're just trying to undermine people. And
it's broke, why try to fix it? It's been like this for as long as I can remember. I've been going to shows for 30 years, and it's
yeah,
always been like that.
yeah.
So it's not. I don't know.
It's just like I said, it's somebody grasping at straws, causing a problem, and then now there's twofold. Lowrider was being looked at because of what they were saying, and then and then the people that were told like the models saying they have to change the way they dress and stuff, they think it's lowrider, but it's not really lowrider. Lowrider just had to, to tell them to put stuff on because of the situation they were in, because somebody
Yeah.
else.
I mean, I agree. Like you shouldn't be showing boobs, like any bare part. But and they're a girl can look really sexy in a dress, the same as she could look showing anything. But it's up to each model's own disclosure, what they're comfortable with, what they want. But you do have
Yep,
to take into account that it's a family environment and stuff. So you can't be doing full nudity and stuff like that. Like that's
absolutely.
some facts. Like if you can't wear it to the beach, don't do it at a show.
Yeah. No, I've
But
been
at the time,
years ago that there was porn stars there and they were just and then like they would get like a all of a sudden whenever you see a full shoulder to shoulder crowd of people around the car and then
yeah, you knew it was.
flashing and everything else like that. So and
They used to
like I
have the
said,
body paint models. Remember, they had the girls in body paint. That's all they had on there.
that
They'd have that.
I've seen that recently at an art show too. And I had walked in to this art show and I turned around and and you see I seen the girl in body paint. I'm like, oh shit. But and it was like right at the entrance. It's like you could have put her like a little farther down because everybody's walking in going, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to your discretion, but you should never like shame somebody or don't publicly do it. Like, if you need to tell them all, hey, can you change your outfit or do this, that, pull her to the side. Don't make an example out
Yeah.
in front of everybody and walk her out with security because that's humiliating to anybody. I mean, she was devastated by it,
I
and
wouldn't doubt it.
she's one of the sweetest people I know. She's very sweet. She's a very nice person.
Yeah. Well, I
So
think that she well, these people that started this shit should really apologize to her. But the thing is they can't because, like I said, the complaining about it is is being a pawn for some other ulterior motive, and that's exactly what's happening, and it's unfortunate because they don't realize they want to sit there and say how they're not exploiting women, but that's exploiting her, and
yeah,
it's hurting her, and
in a different way.
in a different way because they want to hurt somebody else, and that's not fucking fair to her. I mean, ultimately, it's not. And do they really give a shit about what women? Well, we don't want to exploit these women. Do you? Do you not? Because you really you know making sure someone's having a bad time, and are you apologizing to that person? Are you explaining? Are you saying we didn't mean to do that to you? No, I don't think anybody's even reached out to find out who she was to talk to her.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, the person that is behind this, as a person, he seems like a really good dude. Like, he was a good example. He's a good role model
Mhm.
for what he's done for people. Like he's led the way on a lot of things. It's just I don't understand where he's coming out of this like cycle of left field for night. So why do you change the script all of a sudden? And obviously, I don't know the whole story. Like, you're telling me more than I've actually knew anything about it. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I look, I try to stay out of the politics and all the other,
But it is
just
politics.
things.
That's the whole thing. And my argument is that why are you the politics comes down to is they're using innocent people as a fucking pawn to try to get somebody to deal with whatever drama they have with someone else. And what does it do? It affects people that have nothing to do with it. You're affecting
Yeah,
people that have nothing to do with it because you're trying to convey something so you can benefit. And that's wrong.
right.
That's more wrong than you know us having the models, model and half naked. You know what I mean? Like that is more wrong when someone else has to sit there and go, "What did I do wrong?" When they're being pointed out.
Well, she was
For
paid to be there. You know what I mean? And they chose what outfit for her to wear. You know what I mean? So it's not. it's not fair to two parties, her and the person that paid for her to be there.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I
That's
mean,
the
and they
whole.
pay their fee, they pay their part of the show. Like that 10 by 20 is their space. Let them do whatever the hell they want in their space.
Oh
If you
yeah,
don't like it, walk down another aisle. 'Cause
exactly.
most people show up to every show that Lorder has. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? They've done it for years and years and years.
yeah.
So
But like I said, at the end of the day, it's just something that they don't realize the actual the reach of what they did and why it's wrong. You
it
know
was
what I mean?
probably just a reflex reaction. They didn't think it through all the way or how it would affect other people. They just tried to react to appease whoever's at their back, trying to get on them.
Yeah,
Look, we
exactly.
did something about it. And they didn't think it all the way through or a better way to approach it to do it. So,
No,
I mean, we all have outside forces working against us. So,
yeah,
I just try to be understanding because I don't think his intent was to hurt her or to
no,
be malice in any way. I just think it just happened to come out that way.
yeah.
And like everybody can Monday morning a quarterback to death
Oh
or
yeah,
your death. Like we can all
yeah,
say, "Oh, I would have done this different. I would have done this different." But until we're in his shoes doing what he had to do, we're never gonna know how we react. All we can try to learn is like, if this ever
mhm,
happens, let's try to do this instead, or let's try this instead. But we're never gonna know until we have the ball and we're throwing it how it's gonna happen.
absolutely. But that's and what I like about your point is that we have to own up. We have to say, you know what, I threw that interception, right?
Right?
You know what I mean? I threw that in, or I choked at the fucking end of that game. We have to own it so we can move forward, right?
Yeah.
And
If you don't, there's no accountability, they can't move forward.
we sit there and point fingers and say it's someone else's fault, and they're just like, I was just standing on the sideline. What are you talking about? You know.
Right?
But once again, the only way to fix it is to own it and be like, yeah, this is not really what I meant, and so on and so forth. So, but will that ever change anything? Who knows? And will we understand it completely? Maybe one day.
I doubt
If
we ever will. But like
yeah,
you said, it's integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
exactly.
It's up to that person or how to fix it.
Yeah. So, what do you shoot with? What is it?
Sony,
Sony?
yes,
Nice.
sir.
Then, do you have a favorite lens?
My 35,
Mhm.
1.5 mil, like I think it's like 1.4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I had the Sony A7R4.
Nice.
I had to save up for a while.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I just there's always a big debate, especially when people start investing their money on their cameras. We want to go with Canon, Nikon, Sony. Sony has great color. You can't deny it. But I've been shooting with Canon for years, so I'm
Well, my,
staying.
my first camera was like a $500 camera. Like
Mm.
I upgraded all the lenses before I upgraded my camera.
Oh yeah,
And like people don't realize, like if you have to choose a camera or a lens, like most of these cameras, the basic features are all the same. So get a good lens because it's gonna make a world of difference in your pictures. Over, oh, I need this camera because the cameras will make little differences, but not as much as the lens will.
yeah. I told
Like
myself I want to buy one more camera this year, and I'm not gonna buy any cameras for a few years. I'm just,
lies. I don't believe you.
I'm like,
I'm
I
not your
just
mic, bro. You know what I mean?
camera, and then I'll be fine.
I've been a really good boy this year, Santa. I promise.
That's my Christmas gift. I'm already thinking about it. Shit,
Yeah.
if I'm really really lucky, what is it? The Canon. They're already like teasing their R1,
Oh
and
yeah, I heard that. Dope as
big,
hell.
yeah, but it's gonna be but that series of what is it, the R, what is it, the XD1 XD and stuff like that. Before, they're almost like $10,000 cameras when they come out.
Oh yeah. So I want like the Sony A1, but when it came
Yeah,
out, it was like 10 grand. And I'm like, dude, I'm not spending that on a camera. Like as it was, I spent like 5 grand.
yeah, exactly.
It's like it is what it is. I mean, I've seen people do with like the little flash cameras. They've done some
Oh yeah,
dope ass shit. You know what I mean? Like it's not the camera, it's the angles and the editing and all that. Like
absolutely.
the
Yeah,
shooter is not the
guys,
camera.
guys with really expensive cameras, and they just don't got it. They
Yeah.
don't got it. They struggle, and then they want, but they're like, they think they're divas because they have the best of the best camera they can get.
It's like
Um,
like Corvette off the showroom floor and you get beat by a Honda or something that somebody did all the motor work and all that. Like
yeah,
it's not the money that's going to make the situation. It's like the heart and the art and the practice. Because If you're not good, keep shooting. That's the only I can tell people. Like, what can I do to get better? Keep shooting, keep shooting. Make more mistakes. The more
Yeah.
mistakes you get, the better you're gonna get, because that's how you learn. Oh, I
Yeah.
messed up this. Let me not do that again. When you mess something up, you're gonna realize, hey, I messed up. I'll look out for that next time. I'm not gonna do that again. Like I'm sure we've all gone to a thing and like didn't adjust our settings right and blown out the whole damn picture. And it's like,
Yep. Been there, done
that's just sucks. It's like, man,
or
like,
having it on the shoulder strap and it just like it turns the
oh,
setting, you don't lock it, and then it's like you're like what this like what is this like and you're like, oh shit, you got to figure out what did move. That's
that's
the
the
only
hardest
thing
part, trying
for
to
me.
figure out what
And
movie.
you're not- yeah, what changed, and you just like got to redial everything in because you just like put it down, or you swipe your thumb across something or something like that, and you turn the dial and you're like, wait, why is it doing that? It's like, and that's especially when you're really busy, or if you have more than one camera switching back and forth. That happened to me 2 weeks ago. But
Baller problem.
uh, but so kind of going with what you're talking about right now, like what advice would you give for anybody that's wanting to get in, if the youngster or not, someone wants to do photography? Any just kind of piece of advice that you would like to give?
Um, don't take negative feedback. Like, you know, if somebody don't take any advice from somebody that's not where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends are going to be your biggest haters. They're going to be the biggest ones to hold you back. Nobody's going to support you until you've already made it. And then they're like, oh yeah, I knew you could do it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? If you admire a photographer or somebody you look up to, go find them, ask them, hey man, can I shot you? Can you do this or that? Some guys are gonna be jerks and say no, but I guarantee there'll be somebody like, yeah, man, no problem. Let me help you. Let me show you this. Let me show you that. Even if you have to pay for the time, like, hey, if I pay you for an hour session, could you show me like this or that? And
Yeah.
like most of them, if they can afford it, they won't be a dick and charge you. But you still got to respect their time, because time is money.
Yeah.
But what they're teaching you is going to shave you years off your learning curve. So it's worth it. You pay $1,000 to go to college, so you can invest with somebody like, hey man, show me this, show me that, and like at least let me buy you dinner or something. Like
Yeah.
let me pick your brain, because like find somebody that you like how they work and their style, and go follow them. Even if like, hey, I need a second shooter, this that, come hold my light for me, whatever it takes. Like I went held lights for photographers I liked, just so I could learn anything. Like any little drop they dropped, I was like, yeah, cool, I'm on it, dude. Like I learned so much
Absolutely.
from just watching other people. And just find people that you like and you admire their work, and try to do whatever you can to learn from them, because they're going to show you an idle conversation. They're going to drop stuff that on you that's going to take you years to figure out on your own.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
just try to find somebody that you like and their style, and go try to help them. Like be legit though. Don't try to, oh, I'm gonna go do this and steal from them and do this and that, because
Yeah. Okay.
you're never gonna get ahead by doing malintent.
Yeah. They go, oh, I could do it better. That
I mean, if they could do it better, God willing, I hope they do it better, because that's
yeah.
gonna push you to do better. You know what I
But
mean?
that mentality won't let them learn for reals, though.
Right. Yeah. It's all your mentality. Like have a positive attitude, and like have a genuine, like, hey, I want to learn from this person. I'm open ears, because you can't listen and talk at the same time. You can only do one or the other.
Yeah.
So either you want to learn, then go learn. Just be quiet, and whatever they tell you, take heed. If you're going to try to go impress the guy, you're not going to impress the guy. He's only been shooting for 6 months, a month, or whatever, however long, a couple of years. You're not going to impress him, because he's already been there, done that.
Oh yeah.
So learn anything you can from him, because he's going to drop more knowledge on you than is possible. Like I try to learn from everybody I'm around, even people that have been shooting less than me. I watch them and I learn, and like I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And like I look at their work and I'll give them credit. Like I see somebody, like I'll be scrolling through Instagram randomly, I'll be like, I don't even know who the guy is. Like, oh, that's a dope ass photo. I'll send it. Hey, go follow this person. Like I try to
Yeah.
promote people. Like I like their work. I try to promote it to everybody. Like I'm not trying to throw shit on anybody. I want everybody to win. I want to
Yeah.
shine light on everybody, because as a culture, that's the only way we get ahead.
Yeah.
Like we're all freezing a moment in time. The more we can share, the more we can expand. Like whoever thought 30 years ago that we'd be in Germany, Sweden, Australia, like everybody's like, oh, Japan. Like Japan's dead compared to all these other places now, dude. Like
Yeah.
those are the new Japan. And
Oh,
like who would have thought Japan is doing what they're doing? Like they're building their own cars over there. Like they don't need to come to the US no more, dude. They got super, super dope ass shit over there. Like ridiculous.
yeah.
Like they built some beautiful cars. Like they've taken it to the next level. And like that just took a seed. Somebody, they saw a picture somewhere and they got on it, and then now it spread, and like we're gonna be worldwide. you
Oh
know
yeah.
like we're in Brazil, dude. Like it's a third world country, but they got lowriders down there.
Oh
That's
yeah.
just how this
Those
means.
guys are always chiming in on my YouTube channel and everything. They're always showing love.
Yeah,
Brazil.
dude, like, all over the world, man. Like I want to do like a world tour, just go to like the lowrider shows all over the world, and just bring exposure to the scene and what they do, and make you appreciate what we have here that much more.
Yeah. I've met, even being at like the Super Show, the Vegas show and stuff. I met people like, oh, I'm from Germany. a matter of fact,
Yeah,
the beginning of the year, I met some guy and he was like, "Yeah, I'm out here from Germany," and it was a Majestics car club member, but from Germany.
yeah, they're worldwide. Dude, Majestics is
Yeah,
huge, and
yeah.
they got
So
things everywhere.
and it's pretty cool when people sit there and go, I know who you are, or I watch your videos, or I follow you on Instagram, and they're from a different country, and it's like that's dope. That that's a good feeling for anybody, for all of
Yeah,
us
when you're
to
doing
put it.
big things, bro. Like I'm proud of you. Like the more you do it, the more it inspires me. Like, yeah, man, that's dope. He's doing it. He's leading the way. Like to me, you're leading the path. Hey, follow me. This is what I've done. You can do it too. Like
Exactly.
you inspire a lot of people, man, and like keep it up.
Yeah.
I love seeing you succeed and you pushing it, bro. Like you keep doing more things, and I love it. I'm like, hell yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Like I try to share your work a lot. Like I see something, I'm like, yeah, that's dope. And this is even before I even knew you or even got to meet you. So when I got to meet you, I was like, oh hey, yeah, I'm so and so. I love your work. I introduced myself to you.
Yeah.
Like you're just a cool person, man. I love seeing your work.
Well, I try to do the positive. I try to be the positive. I know sometimes I'm not that personable. When we're all in the heat of the moment, I mean, you know how it is. When you're in the show and
Yeah,
you're in the zone, it's hard to turn around and start conversating with somebody. You know what I mean?
yeah, but you were like very approachable. You're
It's
cool.
like
You weren't.
I want to be like a lot of times. I go back and I like, oh hey, sorry I ignored you, but I was really busy at that moment. But how are you doing? It's like, oh yeah, yeah, and I try to do that whenever possible is acknowledge somebody. I always tell people, don't, no matter how busy I am, if you really want to come up to me and say hi, please do. Please.
Yeah,
It's not gonna make me mad or anything like that. I rather you do and say something to me, and you might just be giving me the ability to pause right there and give myself a break for a minute and talk to you,
yeah,
but
for reals.
that's the whole thing. It's like we're in the zone, but we're trying to do what we're trying to do, and it's nothing personal when we're out there really busy.
Yeah, people are always like, "Oh, I was gonna say something to you, but you look like you're mad." I'm like, "I'm not mad. I'm just ugly. It's the way I look. Sorry, like don't worry about it. I'm not mad. You know what I mean?" So just
Oh,
come up and say hey. But you do a lot, man. And like, I'm proud of you. Keep it
thank
up,
you,
man. Like, you inspire me for reals.
thank you. I'm trying, and like I said, I'm just trying to bring a positive, vibe out here in an aspect, and give everybody that, that positive outlook, and I'm hoping that it just keeps pushing everybody to do good. Because for me, I love the lowrider community and everybody that's part of it in whichever way they're part of it. I always, I think they get credit. We all get credit. It's not just one person. It's everybody from, and as they say, from the promoters to the builders to the owners to the painters to the, everything. Every single person that has touched the lowrider uh brings something to the table for us.
Well, it takes all of us to make it work. It can't be just one person. Like if without the cars, you can't have the show. Without the promoters, you can't have the show. You know what I mean? Without the spectators, you can't have the show. Without the photographers, you're not going to get the show documented.
Yep.
It's we all work together as a team in our own different way. It's just we are got to learn to appreciate each other and see how we can complement each other, not try to like make money on each other.
Yeah.
Like I see like a lot of times people won't tag somebody or promote. It's like what does it hurt you to tag that person or promote that person? It doesn't hurt you at all. Like all you're doing is helping that person grow and you're shining some light on them because you can't be for everybody, but that person might be for that person. So like shine some light on them, let them shine because somebody's gonna love his work. I guarantee it, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
You know, if I see something dope, I'm like, hey, let me share this. Let me like this dope.
Are you out there in the cruises? Are you going to go to the I think they're having a cruise this weekend.
If I don't work, I will. Like there was a cruise night last night. I went to right here. Like I have a '63 rag that I drive.
Mm.
I'm part of Group Car Club.
Yeah.
So it's just like I do that on my bike. Like it's like I live the lifestyle too, not just photographer.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Exactly.
people are like, you got your camera? Like, no, man, I'm trying to enjoy the day. I want to
Yeah.
relax for once.
I can't go anywhere ever. Like, where's your camera? I'm like,
Yeah.
you
And then
know,
like all the guys that you look up to that are dope ass photographers, are like you should never leave without your camera. Like, yeah, man, you're right. And then you go feel bad, and you want to go bring your camera. It's like,
that's on where I'm at with that right now is trying to make every event I can. Because if I just say not this year, I know I'm gonna regret it, and it's
no,
hard.
let this year win, right? Like now's the
Yeah,
time.
it's like, yeah, now's the time. Just keep pushing myself, and that's where I'm at with that. So having my camera, yeah, I don't carry my camera everywhere I go, but I want to go everywhere with my camera. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I know it's like because I was trying to like make this my year and like push go everywhere, but I started a new job and this job is not understanding at all. Like
Yeah.
they don't want to give you days off. They tell you 2 days ahead before you have to work, and it's like, man, I had plans this weekend. Like I booked a show and like, well, it's not my problem. It's like, okay, one of these days I'm gonna be like, hey, sorry, I gotta go.
Oh
But
yeah.
we have
I
bills, we have stuff we have to do to make it. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to me, right now, there's a little sacrifice. There's with working weekends and stuff like that. Is I like right now, if I do go out, I have to make it like a 1 day thing. I can't go
mhm.
for like the whole weekend, like Friday night to Monday morning or something like that, because of the way my schedule is. And when I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, yeah, I can leave, go somewhere, drive or fly on Friday, go on Saturday, come back Sunday or Monday morning or whatever, and it was no problem. But now it's I lose a lot of money if I do that, or I got to have a lot of PTO. but
Yeah,
but
and
you
it's
know
like they tell you to be there for a reason. You don't want to make yourself expendable either. Like you want to be there. You don't want to be the guy. No, I can't do this. I can't do that. Like if you can't do it, or find somebody that will. So how bad do you want your job?
exactly. Yeah, it's always hard. Like I turned down at one time in the beginning. Somebody offered me to go on tour with the oldies. When so how like when they do the
A
oldies
concert.
the concert group.
Yeah,
I got offered to be their tour photographer, and my son was only like 2 years old, and I had to work on the weekends, and I couldn't do it. I had to turn it
yeah.
down, and I regret it. I do, but at the same time, it's also taught me a lot. 'Cause now I won't
Well,
turn down things like that. My kid's older now, so I can do it. But it was
whatever
like,
you got, and family's always first, no matter what.
yeah,
So when the time's right, the opportunity to present itself again.
yeah, but
So I mean, you're doing bigger things right now. Look at you, like you're blowing up, bro. Like this is
trying.
this is your this is your this is your path right here.
Yeah, I push myself now, and now it's I'm reaching out to different content creators, and I'm hoping that, honestly, so right now I'm doing one-on-ones with, this is my game plan, is doing one-on-ones with content creators like yourself, and then eventually we'll do it like, we'll come back and revisit, and we'll come on and bring in a couple guys at the same time, a couple women, whoever, content creators, photographers, videographers, and we'll bring in a couple people at the same time, and we'll all sit down here and do some stuff and talk about things for the community and so on and so forth. So, and what we're doing,
It's all
and
about building each other. So that sounds dope. Like and
yeah,
to introduce each other to new people because we all know somebody's watermark, but we don't ever got to meet the person. So it's
exactly,
important that
exactly,
you're somewhere to go, hey, introduce, hey, I'm so and so, nice to meet you. Let me, you know what I mean? Like, let me follow you. It's all about helping each other, man. And like, you
yeah,
know, somebody can teach you something no matter who they are.
exactly. When you're out there, when you do shoot at a cruise, what's your biggest pet peeve?
People going and standing in it on purpose, and like as soon as you give up and go to another car, then they leave and they go to that next car, like they just want to be in your picture. Like the person will follow you around on purpose. It's
So,
like,
so you feel that too, because
yeah,
someone will see you walking up to the car and they'll just go stand there,
yeah. Then the
and
two you
right,
turn around,
they
they
want to
walk
be in
away.
the
It's
picture.
like
Yep, exactly. I
you
feel
go to
I
another car, they go to that car. It's like that's why, like for me, I just put a positive spin on it. Hey, man, let me get a picture of you with the car. That way, they're happy, you're happy, and a
yeah,
lot of times it turns out to be a good picture. Because that's all
yeah,
they want is the attention, the recognition. So give it
yeah.
to them. Like we both win that way. So
Yeah, yeah, I talk a bunch of shit. Like there's some guys, they'll stand like so close to the car, and I'm like, dude, you just want to like to me, sometimes some people like walk up to people's cars and then they're like that close, and they just stand there and they're staring, and I'm like, dude, come on. If you want to be in a picture, just say something.
yeah, that's right. Ask me, hey, let me take a picture with you with the car, and either they're gonna want to be in the picture, or they're like, oh, I'm sorry, let me get out of your way.
Yeah,
And a lot of times you're making that person's day taking a picture of them. Everybody wants to be recognized, so
yeah,
it's a positive way to like let them know, hey, man, I'm trying to take a picture of this car.
yeah.
So
Yeah. That's funny you say that too, because that's one of my biggest things. I'm like, and I walk past. I'm like, now I got to go back to that car because I don't want to. I
yeah,
don't want to. I don't. For me, I just don't want to be a dick. Like, hey, get the hell out the way. I just like, I don't know what. I'm just like, I'll just walk past it. I'll come back. You know.
yeah, but like the way I look at it, like something like that, because me personally, I don't like getting up early to go to these shows, so I'll show up later. Then I got to pay the cost. All the people in the background shot. Like there's guys that get up, they're at moving crack of dawn, and they get all the clean shots. It's like, look, if you want that clean shot, get up and pay the sacrifice that these other people are doing.
Yeah.
They get there moving, they're at setup, they get all the clean shots because they're willing to sacrifice to get that shot. If you
Oh,
don't want to do that, then don't complain about it. You know what I mean? Like you know what to do, so do it. Like we all make ourselves better or worse. It's that slight edge. You can either make yourself better, you make yourself worse. Yeah, we make that conscious decision every day.
oh yeah.
Like
And there's a time for there's some events where I want to be there early before everybody, and there's some events where I want to vibe off the crowd. I want the crowd to be there,
yeah,
and that's where part of my secret sauce to working with the promoters is that when I do video, like some people are like, we should do video now. There's nobody around. No, actually, I can't do video because there's nobody around. I need to do video when everybody's around because
yeah, sure.
people will see that video and go, "That's event was cracking." There's people there. It's for promotional reasons. There's a purpose for that,
Right.
and it helps me, but it also helps the promoter. And this is why you keep getting invited back. Is when sometimes when they see the crowd and you're promoting the event for the following year.
Right.
So I think that's a big deal. And I know this is a factual thing because I've really had this conversation with promoters before. So that, to me, I've been invited to an event out of state, and the first thing I do is go look up and see what the YouTube video. Oh, we've been doing this for 10 years. Okay. So then I go and look at YouTube and I try to see what was going on at that event.
See what didn't work, and so you can do better.
Yeah. Or just see how it was. Like if I'm going to pay for myself if I'm going to fly myself out there, I want to see what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I won't do it. It just means, okay, you just need someone that's going to put a little more effort into it or something like that.
The show I want to go to, I've been seeing, I hope I get to go, is the Idaho show coming up. That show, I've seen like really good things of it. It's like, man, I really want to go out there and experience that. That's not a state you expect to have low riding in. And I heard it's huge in Idaho.
It is.
So
I went a couple years back. Single amount, not last year, not this year, not last year, the year before. I went there and they have a big picnic there for single amount. And so I met somebody from out there at the Vegas Super Show. And then he's like, dude, I want to bring you out. So they brought me out there for that. And that was fun. I had a lot of fun. There's some real nice cars out there. There are really good people out there. And so I know that them having that Lowrider magazine show there on the 27th of July, that's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I think so. I heard nothing but positive stuff about that show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to be able to go.
Yeah, they haven't had the show in a while. They said they used to have a show there back in the day, I guess. So when it's the first year they're going to try it, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be good.
Yeah, 'cause like I said, the people out there are hella cool. It was hella cool out there. I had a good time. So,
well, it's good to see different places like lowriding explode. Like you see lowriders. Like I went to the Oklahoma show, and it was really cool. Like totally different. You wouldn't expect to see that. And then like you see the spectators guys coming in with cowboy boots and crazy stuff. Like
open
straight from a rodeo to a lowrider show. And like it was really cool to see them looking at the cars and exposure. Like, oh wow, look at all the chrome, and you know what I mean. Like everybody can appreciate art no matter what form it is.
Yeah, I think I went. Yeah, a couple years back too. I went to Hop Wars when they do Hop Wars out there, and I went to that, and it was just a trip because they open carry there.
Oh wow!
So it looked crazy to see somebody that's kind of like a lowrider cholo but has a fucking holster and a gun. Like,
I got hiding. I can pull it out.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude's in the hot pit, fucking judging the cars and shit, and fucking got his fucking gun on his side and shit. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy to see that.
That's the act right there,
Yeah, exactly. No arguing in the pit, but
yeah,
but different places, different culture. Everything's different, but at the same time, it's all the same love.
It's still all love,
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, yeah, it's good to get out there and do your thing. And So what event are you going to next?
Um, the only thing I booked so far is just the Vegas Super Show.
Hmm.
So, but I want to go to like tours the same weekend, and I want to go to Frank's Hop that weekend. Like it's gonna be,
Off the
you need a
hook.
weekend for the weekend. You know what I mean? It's gonna be
I know.
something constantly. So
Yeah, I'm actually my goal is to book everything for that Vegas show by the end of next month.
yeah,
That's my goal. I'm not gonna spend any other money. I wanna get the hotel. I wanna, I have to decide if I'm gonna drive or fly. I'm still up there with that. Because it's 8 hours from where I'm at up here in San Jose, and the drive sucks. So it's a 1 hour flight if I fly. So you know what I
yeah,
mean.
makes it way easier.
But with everything that goes on over there, I need to be mobile.
Right.
So it's one of those things right now. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do
Well,
because
that's probably like 3 hours from here, and then I got an Airbnb booked already. I got everything lined up, so it's like, and then, but I want to go to Albuquerque. I want to go to Idaho. So God willing, I'll be able to go to those. So got my fingers crossed. Hopefully it comes through.
definitely, Albuquerque was nice. I went one time and I saw a lot of cars I had never saw before, and that's why I really liked it.
Yeah, they have every place has a different style of doing cars.
Mhm.
Like you go to Texas, it's different. You go to Oklahoma, it's different. You go to Oregon, it's different. You know what I mean? Like even
Yeah.
like in between Northern and Southern California, you see differences. It's
Oh yeah.
even like you can go to even Bakersfield, San Diego, it's different. You know what I mean? Like they all have their own style. Phoenix has a style.
Dude,
Like you get to appreciate all of them.
I was in Bakersfield on Sunday, and I'll tell you, I ain't never seen so many El Caminos in one car show in my life. 80s
That's
El Caminos, bro, every other car, man. I'm not even like barely bullshitting that there was so many El Caminos there. And I was like, it's a sign because I was telling my son, I said, I'm thinking about getting an El Camino for next year. And so then all of a sudden it's just like car after car after car. I see El Caminos everywhere, and I'm like, I should. I should.
I always try to keep El Camino, man, because it's like people either love El Caminos or they hate them, But
Yeah.
Bakersfield has some beautiful El Caminos, man. They really set the example up there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's usually like one of the classes you go to a show and there's not a whole bunch of them. So like you can build a decent one and get a trophy, but up there you better have like a full turntable car. Otherwise you're not even gonna look at you twice. You know what I mean? Their cars are like details on top of details on top of details. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous.
Yep, big
So
time. But yeah, so you know what? With that though, I'm gonna tell you, thank you for coming on my podcast and your time. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your work, your input, and just taking your time with me today.
well, thank you, man, for inviting and everything else, and keep doing the great work, man. You inspire a lot of people, including me. I really like your work and keep pushing it. Like keep raising the bar, man. Give us up to the chase.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
You're
I'm
doing
trying
a big difference.
to keep up with myself,
That's a good thing, man. You're doing good. Keep it up, man. God bless you.
And thank you.
Pinches Lowriders.